Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rake the Take. This is kind of a bonus edition of this week's episode for the Masters. I got my buddy Dylan. We know we did an internship together with the stunt last year. I should say, almost said a couple years ago, but it's not that
Yeah,
not that long. But yeah, no, we're just kind of getting together to talk about the Masters. But yeah, how are you doing, Dylan?
I'm doing great. I mean, I feel like it's been a while, maybe over a year and a half since we've done a podcast together. I know we're always, sharing our bets with each other, and I'm always looking at your stuff. Great work, by the way. And I'm so excited for this week. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing a podcast again, and excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man, always. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm so pumped for this week too. I mean, I think it's been an interesting golf season overall. A lot of ups, lots of downs.
Definitely.
I mean, I think with the Masters, it's like always a place where things kind of normalize, I guess. Usually get a lot of the same guys every year, or some interesting surprises here and there. But overall, I feel like the Masters is definitely one of the most fun events to bet, no matter what.
Oh yeah, I mean, just watching today, watching the par three contest, the course looks amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you got all the stars in the world, and like we've talked about in the past with Live Golf and everything. Now that you get a tournament, we're used to betting tournaments without Bryson and Brooks and Cam Smith and Rahm, and now they get to all come together. I feel like it even heightens the stage where we have all the best golfers in the world 4 times a year and the best tournament of the year, stars everywhere you look. It's going to be such a fun weekend. I'm so excited.
So first off, like, how do you think the course is going to play? Do you think it's going to be firm and fast, or do you think it's going to be a little softer because of some of the rain that's been going on throughout the week?
I think the rain, there was rain Monday, a lot of it. They had to cancel the practice round or parts of it. I think it's going to play easier than last year. I remember last year that I think that Friday or Saturday, I remembered it played just impossible when it was super firm and the winds ramped up. I think tomorrow is going to be the easiest day. I think the greens are going to be still a little wet. And I think so. If you're going to go low, you better go low tomorrow. I think the winds pick up Friday a little bit. And then I think by the weekend, they'll have the course ready the way they want it. And I think it's going to be an extremely tough test. Honestly, Friday afternoon through Sunday is going to be extremely tough. So I think, especially for those morning guys tomorrow, they got to go low. I think it's super important because the winds pick up Friday afternoon and they're going to be in that time slot. So yeah, I think I think overall we're probably gonna see, my gut is telling me 12 under par as the finals winning score. I think anywhere between 10 and 12, 10 and 13 is where I see. I don't think it's gonna be single digits just because of all the rain we got. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. How about you?
Yeah, I feel you. I think my final score prediction would be like 15 under, 14,
Okay.
15 under, so
Yeah,
maybe
you're even higher than I am. Yeah.
just a little bit. But I do think it will be easier the first 2 days,
Yep.
just because of the rain and just kind of the softer conditions. But I do agree that probably by the weekend, because the sub-air systems that they have on the course are so good that they should be able to kind of take out a lot of that moisture.
Yeah, they'll get
Um,
they'll get it where they want it on Saturday and Sunday for sure, I think.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, outside of that, it doesn't really feel like there's any real advantage, like wave split wise. Maybe
I
like
don't
you're
think that much, yeah.
like you're saying, like maybe the Friday, like the Friday morning wave probably will have the easiest. So like late Thursday, Friday morning, that's probably the easiest, but like by like a slim margin,
Yeah, it
probably.
really, and it's not like there's like they're setting it up in like a normal tournament when there's 160 some odd guys, like where the times are such a big difference. Like it's kind of just the tee times kind of every 10 minutes just evolve. So even if you have the morning, it's not that much of a delay if you kind of have a maybe a couple hours later, but it's not like a 5 hour difference where like we're kind of used to seeing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, I feel like we don't really need to introduce the course. But like who are your favorites for this week? Who do you like the most?
You know, we've been texting all week. Like, it is so hard. I want to bet everyone. Like, there's so many guys that I want to bet. Like, I
Yeah.
literally had a list of 20, and I'm just like slowly trying to cut it down. I cut it down to 12. No, I cut it down to 13, and then I saw Keegan Bradley ace a hole in one on the par three. I had to put him back into the discussion. Uh,
After crossing them out, yeah.
So now I'm all over the place. I do first want to start with Scotty. I am not betting Scotty or Rory. I'm
Yep,
fading
same.
top of the board. I just think 4-1, 4.5-1, whenever you get him on different books. Like he just trust me, like it's to say Scotty's had a bad year, any other golfer would take his year this year every year that they want to be on tour. Like he's having a great year, but compared to last year, I just think he's easing back with the hand injury from December, January. And you just haven't seen the same pristine ball striking, hitting it down the fairway every time. And the putter has been very iffy. He had a good putting week 2 weeks ago in Houston, but I just can't get there on 4.5 to 1. I don't think he's going to win this year. I would rather bet Rory if I were to bet one of the two. I think Rory has an advantage because, again, the wet conditions, he launches the golf ball. And I think that's a huge advantage to drivers that can, really get it out there because you're not going to see a lot of roll, especially Thursday, Friday, on those fairways. So I think Rory being able to to really launch that ball, get the carry can really be a big advantage for him. But Rory at a major, I'll never like he's gonna have to prove it to me before I can back him at a major. We obviously know the collapse at Pinehurst last year. Augusta, I think his best. He's never really been in contention at Augusta before. Like I think his best finish is tied for fifth or something. And I know he had the 36-hole lead or even 54-hole lead, I think, one year early in his career. But even down the stretch, like he just never like with 4 holes to play has been, with a real legit chance to win the golf tournament. And he just something about Augusta, something about these big tournaments. He hasn't won a major in 11 years. I just need to see it first. And he's playing the best golf by far on the PGA Tour right now. He has two
Yeah.
wins, two great wins at two signature golf courses. But I just can't get there in a major yet. So, it might be his week. A lot of people think it's
Yeah.
his week. I'm gonna have to see it. But my guy, will start with my favorite guy at the top of the board. I bet him almost every week. He's my version of Patrick Cantlay for you. But that's Colin Morikawa. Local kid. I'm from Pasadena, California. He's from La Cañada. Um, his ball striking numbers this year um, are out of this world. Best ball striking numbers on tour with the approach shots, and I think that's the key to success at Augusta. Um, it just the question is, can he finish a golf tournament? We were both on him a couple weeks ago with the Arnold Palmer. He should have won that tournament. A very kind of similar type of
100%.
course, and just he kind of just stalls. We've seen it, I think, 4 to 5 times in the last year, where he on a Sunday just he doesn't have that same pop that he did the 3 days before. But I'm going back to him. I just think he's just playing too good at golf, too consistent, too good at golf, and he's due for a big win this year. It may not be Augusta. It could be Memorial. It could be one of the PGA or the U.S. Open, but he's getting a big victory this year. He's a two-time major champ. He's gonna figure it out. A champion is always a champion. I don't care if it was a couple years ago. He's going to find that form. And if you keep putting yourself in contention, like we were both on Shoffley last year, at his first major, like when you keep putting yourself in contention like that, you're eventually going to get it to go your way. And that's where
100%.
I'm on Colin. I like the value. I think 18-1 on Colin is crazy. Like that's tremendous value for me
For
on
sure.
a guy who's playing him and Rory, probably Rory playing a little better, but overall, Colin is playing one of the best, golf on tour right now. So
Yeah.
that's my top pick overall.
Completely agree. And I said it on my podcast that I just did right before this, and I said it in my article too. Like I would bet him to like 10-1. Like I feel
Mhm.
like that's like I feel like he should be that low. I mean he's finished tied for third here last year, fifth in 2022, tied for 10th in 2023.
Yep.
So he's had great form at this event for 3 straight years. So he knows the course well, so you can't say that it's like he doesn't have good course history here.
And every year he
Um,
keeps putting better as well.
exactly. And that's the biggest thing is that the short game is no longer an issue, it's a strength. And so
Mhm.
that's a thing that he really needed to be able to close out some of these events.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, if it weren't for a Russell Henley chip in for Eagle,
Yep,
he probably would have won the Arnold Palmer.
definitely.
So yeah, I love Morikawa. I mean, I know you said you would probably take Rory over Scotty, but I would probably take Colin over Rory in terms of just like the I feel like he should be like Rory. I know he's been in great form, but I think the one
Mhm.
thing that worries me about him is that you look at the courses that he's won at this year, Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass, that kind of are the antithesis of what really makes Rory a good golfer,
Yep,
which is his driver.
yep.
And they kind of
Can't
forced him to
overpower Augusta
yeah, well, you can in a way, but
in a
it's also
way.
like you have to be in the right spots.
Mhm.
And with TPC Sawgrass and Pebble Beach, they force you to take the driver out of your hand, and you have to do other stuff. And I think Rory, you know, he's I don't think he's going to do that here. I think he's even though he's played this course a bunch of times, but I just would rather have an accuracy player who's going to be in the right positions
Yep,
every time and
yep.
not miss greens. Because it's like that's my fear of Rory is like if he's in a bad position, and is going to have to get up and down, I don't really trust him all that much
I
to be
know,
able to do that.
especially around here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just the major thing, like the major stigma, until he shows it to me. Look, if he's Sunday afternoon, it comes around, he's put on the green jacket, like I've seen it, he deserves it. Like I just need to see it. I need to see
Yeah.
it.
The expectation is just way too high. It's just way too high.
Absolutely. So I
Uh,
guess we're both on Colin, which is great. We need a combined win this year. I know we've been close a couple times. But I'll give you another pick of mine, which I know he's my guy. I hit on him at the PGA Championship last year, and I was really in this range between I wanted to take Colin and then I wanted to take another guy towards the top of like the 20 to 1, 25 to 1 range. And I took Xander Schauffele. I decided on Schauffele. It was between him and DeChambeau for me. Um, I just think you're getting him at such a great value right now. A year ago, before he had a major win, he was 12, 13 to 1 to win majors. And that was before he had a win. He now has two. He's won two of the last three majors. And I know he hasn't played a lot of golf this year. I know he hasn't been in that same form, but in his last start at the Valspar, he gained over 12 strokes on approach. And I think, his major record, I think the last time he did not finish top 10 in a major was 2 years ago at Augusta. So it's been like 7 or 8 major championships in a row where he's been in the top 10, which is just absurd. I really think he shines the brightest when the stage is the biggest. And I'm playing all my picks top five, top 10. Like, can Xander win this? Absolutely. But I think for sure he's going to be on that front page of the leaderboard, and at least you cash pretty good value. I just got top five at plus 550, top 10 at like plus 280. I think that's tremendous value for a guy like Xander Schauffele, coming off two major wins in his last three starts. This is more of a value play to me. And I'm just going with it.
Yeah, I feel you. I think the long-term equity is like without a doubt, it's a value, no
Mhm.
doubt. Because of like you're saying, it's like his major championship history is great. And I mean he just won two majors last year. Like it does feel like the gas pumps are being, pushed a little too quickly.
Yep,
But I do feel like the one thing that worries me is just the how his short game has looked since he's been back. That's the one concern I
I
have.
agree. I
I
agree.
I did bet him at API,
Yeah.
and just kind of a similar situation where it's like I just
Yep.
love the number. And then it was just kind of like, whoa, it was kind of shocking to me, just sort of
Yeah.
like how rusty he actually was. Um, but like you're saying, I mean, if he's in contention, like all that goes out the window. Like
Absolutely.
he could easily win.
Absolutely.
So I think he's definitely a guy. Um, I mean you either kind of have to get on him now, or like if he has a great first round, like there's no way you're going to get that price at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the short game, you're exactly right. It's been kind of an issue. And I wish he played in one of those last 2 weeks before the Masters, either at Houston or last week. Like, I just feel like he needed some more reps. Um, but I watched his press conference yesterday. He said his short game feels the best it's felt all season. Like I said, 12 strokes on approach. He's always seemingly around the top page of the leaderboard at the Masters. So yeah, I just think the value is too good. I'm riding with it. It's definitely a risky pick the way he's been playing. But I trust him a lot more as a two-time major champion than a lot of the guys around him. Like I feel like no one's talking about Xander and everyone's talking about like a guy like Ludwig, who I know he played well here last year. I am complete fading Ludwig this week. I don't love his. I wasn't impressed with him last week. Missing the cut at the Valero. I don't think going to the Masters is great. And I think, you know, just you need to be so great around the greens here. And I think that is a glaring weakness for Ludwig. And last year, I don't know if you saw his putting numbers, they were ridiculous here. Like
Yeah,
that was the only
ridiculous.
reason. Like obviously he's a great ball striker. His swing is beautiful and perfect, but you're not going to hit the green on every approach shot here. And when you're left in these tough spots, your short game is critical around here. And I think his short game, as someone we bet him both all year, a couple times, we were bummed to miss his win, but it's a glaring weakness that he has. And I think last year he gained like 8 strokes putting for the week last year. And he was
Yeah,
constantly leaving himself 12 to 15 footers that he was drilling for par. And I give him credit. He's an excellent putter. I just don't think that's sustainable. And I don't think that he's going to be able to repeat that this year. And so I'm full fade on Ludwig this week. I don't know how you feel about that.
completely agree. Yeah, he's definitely one of the most overvalued players on the betting board.
Yep.
Not, it's just I think what the thing about him is that like everybody knows that he's going to have a great career, that he's going to be this really good
Oh,
player.
gotta be.
And so it's like it's almost as if it's just like a given fact that he's going to be priced this way, like no
Mhm.
matter what, unless he just starts playing really bad. But I just don't really like. I think with him, it's like you're exactly right. It's like last year, it's like he was never really in a tough spot, just making putts. Like it was a very lucky performance overall. Not to say that like he didn't deserve it or anything, but it's just I just have it like you're saying. I have such a hard time seeing him repeating that.
Yep.
Also because like his lead-in form has not been all that great. I feel like his lead-in form last year was
He's
so
much
much
better.
better.
Yeah. I
And
mean, besides
also,
his win, he really hasn't been anywhere near.
no, he's been like he hasn't really been in contention for any other event outside of the Farmers where he had the flu and then
Yep.
finished like tied for 43rd or something like that.
These are
Um,
golf courses you expect him to kind of play well at too.
yeah, exactly. And so like it wasn't completely surprising that he did win the Genesis, but even then it was like he just kind of came out of nowhere and won the event. Like it was just sort of like he had a stretch of like 5 or 6 holes where he made birdie on pretty much all of them, and then it was kind of, oh well, he's in the lead after McNeely kind of fell off a little bit, and some of the other guys like Denny McCarthy and Patrick
That
Rogers.
final group
Yeah,
didn't do much that day. Yeah.
yeah, they didn't do much. So it was just kind of it's been kind of a weird year for him, and it's I'm just not exactly sold right now that he's playing at his ceiling, and
Yeah.
so
Absolutely. Well, we'll see. Maybe he'll prove us wrong. We're looking like idiots on Sunday, but that's why you make the bold takes. And yeah, I want to talk about a guy that we both have on our card. I was so happy when you sent me your list this morning that you had him on your card because I've been eyeing him all week. You love him. We've written him before together. Bobby Mack.
Oh
I
yeah, let's go.
love Bobby Mack this week. 60 to 1. He's a great mid-tier play. I think he's been like top 10 and like top 12 in like 5 of his last 6 events this year. He's striking the ball well. We know how good his short game is. Like lefties always play good at Augusta. Like, you think he could really win this thing?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like
I
the
do
thing
too.
is, he's a complete player. He does not really a flaw in his
It doesn't have a
game.
weakness. I agree.
And just kind of add what you're saying. Since the beginning of last year, he's been in 42 starts, and 20 of them have been top 20 finishes. Like
Yeah.
that's consistency.
Could you say
And
most underrated golfer on the PGA Tour? Like maybe.
yeah, I think you could make a very good argument for that, especially because considering too, it's like he's fearless. I mean, you consider the wins last year at the Canadian Open and the Scottish Open. Winning the Scottish Open, obviously a huge amount of pressure for him, being it's his home country event. And then he almost won that in 2023 as well, dueling Rory McIlroy down the stretch. So I
Rory
think
hit
it's
the craziest shot ever to beat him. Yeah. When we had him that week, both of us.
yeah, and so it's like I think I think he doesn't fear the moment. I think he embraces it and he just wants to play great golf and he has an all-around good game and I just see no reason why he wouldn't play well this week. T12 his first start here.
Mhm.
T22 I think the other one.
Yep.
So I mean good history. I don't see why not. And clearly he's playing the best golf of his career right now.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We're both on it this week. Like I really think he's gonna have a great week. I just have a
Oh,
feel like
definitely.
there's a guy in this range that I'm most confident in. It's Bobby Mack. Load up on Bobby Mack. At 60 to 1 is incredible, incredible value. Another guy we both have, I'm looking at your article right now. It's kind of a guy, another guy we've both been on. We were had his first win back at I'm blanking. The John Deere this
Yep.
last summer. And that's Davis Thompson.
Yep.
Uh, this 120 to 1. I got him at 140 to 1 at Bet 365. I'm gonna drive to Illinois after this podcast, 45 minutes to go get my good value on him. But I think that like the way he hits the ball off the tee, he's great around the greens. It's gonna come down to the putter with him, but
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is the guy that, can be, and I know first timers the Masters hasn't won in 50 some odd years. Do I think he's gonna win? Like probably not. He definitely could. I think he could be flashing the leaderboard. I love him first round leader. I think he could be a guy we see on the top of the leaderboard tomorrow afternoon. Like I am placing 90 to 1 first round leader, lock that in. I think that's a great bet. And it was kind of like there was a tournament earlier in the year we both had him, and he was in first like the first 2 days and completely fell off.
Uh,
I think finished
Genesis.
Genesis. Yeah, I think he finished 12th or 13th. I don't think I think he's kind of maybe learned from that, but I think he's gonna get off to a good start, and I think he's gonna have a good week here.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, he's at a, I think the thing about him is like, yeah, even though he's a debutante, I think we've seen with guys like Will Zalatoris, Ludwig Oberg, who we were
Yep.
just talking about. I mean, I don't really feel like that matters as much anymore, just because there's so much technology to be able to kind of
Mhm.
replicate the conditions of the
I agree.
event. And also, he's a Georgia native, so I mean,
Yep.
he probably has played the course at least once.
Mhm.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I mean,
Yeah.
but I I just think that it's not like the kind of like with Bobby Mack, I was just saying, like the moment's not too big for him. And we both know that this is a guy that is going to contend for majors throughout his career. He's only
Yeah. We
25
said
years
that
old.
that week we bet him in the John Deere. We're like, this kid's good.
Yeah. And I mean, why not this week? I mean,
Why not?
yeah, it's like it's just one of those things where it's like he's not going to be priced at, 175 to 1 like
No, I think
forever.
we bet him a couple weeks ago. Granted, a smaller event, but fields with Rory and Scotty like 30 to 1, 35 to 1. You're getting 100 and I'm getting 140 on Bet 365, 120 on DraftKings, like another incredible value play.
For sure, without a doubt. And I mean, like that. And I feel like there's a lot of guys like that this week, just because you have Scotty and Rory taking so much of the win equity. And I mean, if I think this is a common sentiment that if Rory or Scotty don't win, that this is a wide open golf tournament.
Wide open. And
Yeah,
I really think like we haven't had a great Masters finish. in a couple years. Like honestly, since Tiger, like the Rom Brooks year was entertaining until like the back nine. That was kind of back and forth. But like I think we're in for a five guys within a stroke with three holes to go. Like I think it's gonna be that type of tournament.
Yeah. And I think golf needs that, needs
Yeah.
something like that just
Mhm.
to showcase how many good players there are on the PGA Tour.
Absolutely. So I'm so excited. I'm just gonna read off a couple other guys I have, and then you can talk about who I want to hear it. Like I've not finalized my card. I'll just say I'm looking to bet about 10 golfers this week. Win top five, top 10. Right now, I have Colin, Xander. I love Shane Lowry. Haven't brought up Shane Lowry yet, but he's been playing out of this world this year. On approach, he's like top five in approach. I think he's a big game player. I think you're going to see Shane around the top of the leaderboard. Plays well here. I think he's, if that the putter is the key to Shane. But I think he's going to have a really good week. I think at 45 to 1 on DraftKings. I like those odds. You're looking at guy like there's no way Shane Lowry should have worse odds than Joaquin Neiman. With all due respect to Joaquin Neiman, with like Jordan Spieth, like 3,500, like no chance. Tommy Fleetwood. Why do these guys have less odds than Shane Lowry? I don't know, but I like Lowry. I said Bobby Mack, Davis Thompson, and then you're gonna laugh at me for this one because for some reason I keep going back to him, even though he misses about three 2 feet putts every freaking week. Will Zalatoris at 65 to 1. This is my last time, but I'm going back to the well. His ball striking is back to his 2 years ago. It's to that caliber. The putter, it's
Definitely.
just the putter. It's the putter. He has been abysmal with it, but he has insane course history here. Top tens in all of his starts. Like he putts better here. And so maybe that, and he's a big game player. Big game Will almost won the US Open and the Masters in the same year. I think was second in both 2 years ago. And I think we see big game Will come back this week. And at 65 to 1, like I just that's 2 years ago, he was 20 to 1. Like, and I know he's not that same player, but the potential's there. The ball striking's there. Can he put it all together at a course that he loves, a course that, is perfectly suited for him? I got to take him at that number. I know come Friday when he misses a 1 foot 7 inch putt, and I'm gonna scream, text you like, "Fuck was I doing?" Um, but we'll see. I got to ride with him.
Well,
Uh,
he did play well with the players too.
yeah,
Probably
I mean, he was
better.
in second until he collapsed
He had
on the
like one bad
Saturday
hole and then his
at
tournament was
8 or 9, I
over.
think, on a hole. And yeah, he was right there at the players.
Yeah, he was right there. He had a great week, and I think that's the thing is I agree with you. Like I think he is so close to getting back to that form. I mean, like you said, the ball striking has been great. It's just around the greens and with the short game, can he be consistent? I mean that's always been the question with him. But I think it's just one of those things where it's just like he's just got to get the good results. And
Absolutely. I'll just read off a couple guys. These are the guys I'm kind of choosing for. And if you have any opinions, like I need some help here. Uh, I'm interested in Terrell Hatton. No one's really talking about him. He doesn't have great form, but I've been circling the Masters to bet Terrell Hatton for like a couple months. And then I have Russell Henley, who I was on when he won the Arnold Palmer. I'm just a little worried about his length. Same with Straka. I think Straka has had one of the best seasons on tour this season. Top five player so far. Already has a win, a couple top fives. Been hitting the ball so well. Again, him and Henley with their distance, a little bit of a concern. And then my options are Minwoo coming off the win. I just think he can bomb it. And he's played well here, two top 20s in the two times he's played it. Your boy Sergio, who you have,
yep,
I think I'm going to get on board with at 80 to 1. And then
yeah, it's a
Daniel
great
Berger.
price.
Daniel Berger, I was thinking about. I've been betting him a lot this year, but I think he's found some of that old form, and this is a place that can suit him with his really great irons. And lastly, Justin Rose. I think he's been really contending at these majors recently, and at that price, I like him. So any advice that you have for me on those guys that could potentially influence me in a certain direction?
Yeah, I like Sergio. You know, no argument for me there. I think he's just been playing so well on Live. I think it's a great price. Henley I do like this week. I'm not on him.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just like I just think his numbers are just like right on the money. I feel like that like it, but that's the thing though, is like if you like him, I'd say take him
Mhm.
because I feel like he's in such good form and he's been a top 10 player over the past 2 years, really. Like I have no reason to discount him other
Mhm.
than uh, you know, other than the fact that like he doesn't really have that much win equity, but like also who really does in this field?
Yeah.
Um, and then who are some of the guys you
What about
named?
Minwoo?
Minwoo?
Talking about Minwoo. Thoughts on him this week?
Yeah, I don't know. I the one thing that worries about me for him is the approach play.
Mhm.
He's just such a wayward player off the tee. I think he does have the distance in the short game to do well here,
Yep.
but it's just like can he put himself in good positions and scoring positions? That's kind of what worries me. But I mean, in terms of like the par fives and all that stuff, I mean, it seems like he's playing some of the best golf of his career right now
Yep.
too. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it's just like he's a guy where I just I think I'm just gonna miss out on it this week because the odds are just so low and
Yeah.
people just really
Like
like him so much.
him and Henley basically have the same odds. Like I think you kind of got to take Henley if
Oh
you're
yeah, I
if
think
it's
if it's
like
one or the other, I'm going Henley
Mhm.
every time
Mhm.
in that comparison.
Mhm.
Um, because I just think Henley's a better player. Like there's like that that's just how I view Henley.
I agree.
Uh,
And if Minwoo didn't win 2 weeks ago, what do you think his odds would be for the Masters? 90 to 1? 80
Yeah,
to 1?
exactly. He would be
Now they're
like
50.
in the 100 to 1 range for sure.
Exactly.
Um,
I agree with that.
um, but yeah, let's see. Who else were you saying? Sepp
I would say
Straka.
Straka, Berger, Rose. I
Yes,
had
yes, Straka, Burger,
Farrell Hatton as
Rose.
well.
Yeah, Hatton. When we were coming into this season, I was like, okay, I'm definitely thinking about Hatton for the Masters because he had
Yeah,
just been in such good lead-in form coming into 2025, and he just really hasn't done that much on Live this year.
awesome.
So it's just that like he's one guy I'm kind of like, I mean, his form here also hasn't really been that great historically. Like I feel like I can miss out if it does happen for him this week.
Yeah,
But I still do really like him long term.
I do too, and that's why I really I don't watch a ton of live golf, but I looked at his numbers this year, just been awful. Um, but maybe, it's live. He doesn't care as much. Like maybe he's gonna step it up this week. But I think you got to
Yeah,
have some of that form coming in is so important.
for
Um,
sure.
yeah, and so yeah, I think I might be with you there. But
Um,
for all the viewers, you can follow me, Dylan Tracy-Lindenbaum on Twitter. I'll have my picks out today. My final picks. I have 6 locked in. I'm trying to get to 10. We'll see.
and then let's see. We'll talk about the other guys real quick. Let's see, Sepp Straka. I do. I mean, he's just been in such good form this year. But I agree with you. Just the one thing is just the distance.
Distance, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I have to bet him at 75 to 1.
Yeah,
I
I
think I
feel
have.
that.
I don't know. Give it
I
some thought.
think like I don't think that's a bad number at all, honestly. I think it's like I think I would want something maybe closer to 80 or like something, but it's like that's right there basically. Um, but it's also like I feel like with Sep, he's been in such good form this year, but I also feel like you can get a guy like Aaron Rye, who I like this week, similar type of
I
player,
agree. Very, yeah,
at a way better number.
yeah. You're right
Uh,
there.
but I wouldn't surprise me if either of those guys did well this week. And Berger, like I think he's another guy too that it's like
I
his
think I'm a big
odds.
burger. I
Yeah,
think
his
odds are great.
his odds are right on the money, especially from an outright perspective. I think he that it's a good value for sure, especially if he realizes some of that old form. Um, and then Justin Rose, he's the one guy I probably would kind of shy away from, but I will
Okay.
also give a caveat that I've never been right on him ever. So he probably will win now.
One last question for you before we go. Thoughts on Justin Thomas this week? We haven't talked about him. He's been having an amazing season.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
think I feel like it's one of those things where it's like he's getting the respect that he deserves. And
Hmm.
so because of that, I think he's another guy where it's like I'm just gonna have to see it if it happens
Okay.
because it's kind of like just a few weeks ago he should have won
Should
the
have hit three for
Valspar.
three. Yeah.
Yeah, he should have
About
won
time.
he should have won the Valspar and then Hovland just won out of nowhere. And so it's like I don't know if it's in his head a little bit in terms of that, but I mean, I completely agree statistically. He should be one of the five, six guys that you should be looking at the top of the board, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an unbelievable tournament. I'm setting my alarm. I'm getting there for the first tee shot in the morning.
Oh,
I'm
same.
usually on the West Coast for this, and now I'm at school, so it's not that early. It's not 5 in the morning for me, so I'm gonna get up. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a fun 4 days. Sit on the couch all weekend. It's gonna be. Also, one more thing. I know we only have 2 minutes left. Two bets. My best bet of the whole week. If you're to listen to the show, Chris's loyal listeners, and you're following Chris all week, and you don't want to follow me, there's one bet that I have. Max Homa to miss the cut. He's not making the cut. Max Homa was +4 in the par three contest today. He is not making the cut, and it's only -130 to miss the cut. Best bet of the week. Take it to the bank.
Yeah, I
He's
like
awful.
that. I like it. I mean,
He literally is awful right now. He's
I
the worst golfer in the field this week, besides Fred Couples, maybe. I don't know.
or like I don't know, like Danny Willett or
Yeah.
Harlanger or something like that.
Like
Yeah.
I bet you the guy that just got out of jail beats Max Homa this week. Like what's his name? Angel Cabrera, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Angel Cabrera.
Angel Cabrera. He's beating Max Homa this week. Book it.
Um, yeah, no, I like that. I
I
like
love
that.
Homa too. It sucks, but he's not playing well right now.
And you wanted to give out one more or did
Uh I think I'm betting what's his name? The Spanish amateur. Uh
by Esther.
Ballester. He's gonna be the low end. That's another bet I'm making at plus. I think I got it plus 220.
Yeah,
But
I also like Justin Hastings for that, but I don't know if I'm gonna take it though.
okay. I
But
don't know
yeah,
much about the other guys, but I know Ballester can bomb it. But I see that we're ticking down here. I want to say
yeah.
thank you for having me on. This was a ton of fun. You're doing a great work. Keep it up. And yeah, we got to do this for maybe the U.S. Open and the Open this summer, the rest of the majors. And but thank you. It
Oh,
was
definitely. Yeah, no, this was great. Yeah, we definitely got to do this again.
definitely.
But thanks for listening,
Yeah.
everybody.
Have a
Enjoy the
week, boys.
Masters. Yeah, let's have a great week.
We're gonna do it. Bobby Mack. Bobby Mack put on the green jacket on Sunday afternoon. All right. Thanks, Chris. Thank you for everyone listening as well.
Yep.